Well, I'm going to give you the outlook for the markets in the surf again. Actually, we did give you the outlook for the markets in the surf before. It was one of three scenarios. Everything goes down was one of the scenarios. If the outlook for the economy is bad, as old girl here is looking at the economy, or actually at the surf, everything could go down just because people realize that stocks are too pricey. But we also have that situation now with Vladimir Putin. I put this out on several videos. I'm the only one that's actually putting this out, that the powers that be in the West are looking to punish Vladimir Putin because he's not playing ball. And this doesn't mean he's a good guy. It means he's got his own game. He's his own crook unto himself. It doesn't mean that one side's good and the other side's bad. In other words, the West is looking to punish Vladimir Putin by bringing down the commodities prices, and I have pointed out several times with the oil video I had from over a year ago, not off of conspiracy blogs or anything like that the oil markets have been allegedly rigged. There's lawsuits going on since the year 2000 that by people, not just traders, but even by the former head of NYMEX, New York Mercantile Exchange, that the oil markets are rigged. And I'll go over that in that other video from a while back, but it relates to all the commodity markets. But they're looking to actually bring down the commodities to punish the Russian cash flow. So as we're sliding down the markets here, you're going to see, surf's up. You're just sitting down. Now, just don't worry about it because I don't know how far silver can actually go down exactly. But it is, actually it's been a buy. But it's something where you don't put all your money into. I've always stated that. I was not one of those people that says put all your money into silver because the dollar is going to be worthless. I don't actually believe that. If the silver market went up a great deal right now because of, say, a major conflict in the Middle East, that was another scenario that could happen. It still could happen. Whereas, you say, Saudi Arabia refineries get bombed, the Straits of Hormuz gets temporarily closed, or things like that, you would see oil go way the hell up, along with that gold and silver. So despite even the global tensions, you're seeing crude oil go down. It's been down to $90. But this is I'm the only one stating this. This is actually because the powers that be in the West are looking to punish Vladimir Putin specifically, and he's feeling the pain. As a matter of fact, they cut him off from new technology for oil exploration and oil drilling. That'll hurt their oil investment industry in the medium and long terms. So that's what's really going on. I'm going to put a separate video out also about Palladium. Actually, right now it's probably a good buy. I did state, hey, it's went up to 900. Wow, but it dropped. Well, I'm gonna address this issue later because actually that's another indication that's telling you this is the spot market. This is not actually. I mean, you could still get it cheaper physically, but the spot market is not really driven by supply and demand in the short term at all. And that's really what goes in the short term. Remember, I said the short term. But geopolitical tensions are actually going to drive a lot of the commodities back up again. The markets are not going to be able to ignore this. We got problems that are going on not just in Ukraine, but also in Syria with ISIS. There's also the problems where Obama ignored the intelligence he was getting, and now he's telling the intelligence community, you guys screwed up. Actually, he screwed up. But he screwed up also with his head of the Secret Service, who just recently resigned. Good. Anyway, I can't believe this guy Obama, man. He's so screwed up. He's screwing up even with the people that are supposedly protecting him. My God. It's not good for the United States, though. But the thing is, we're going to see, as far as the slide downward, in other words, old girl here's on a little freaking tire tube, taking a surf on the way down. It's all the markets are going down. You saw this major hit with over 250 points on a Dow dropping. The S&P is not at critical level, but I want to remind you that George Soros' short bets, he's got 16% of his whole entire net wealth in a short position on the S&P. The first major portions of those short position will expire by the end of this year, 2014, because he placed the first huge bets back in August of 2013. He also added to those short position in early 2014 and again added greatly to the position in August 2014. That's George Soros. The guy is not wrong, man. And Warren Buffett is keeping a hell of a lot of his money outside of the markets, and he's losing a lot of money because of that, because he's sitting on cash. Actually, he's sitting more on foreign cash than U.S. dollars, believe it or not, even though the dollar is gaining strength. He said this last year. He only said it once. But anyway, silver's going to have its comeback revengeance. The girl over here is holding the silver gun. Silver's actually going to have a comeback revengeance. You know, silver's been known as the devil's metal for a reason, because it throws people for a loop. Now, actually, I think there was this one guy out there, Armstrong, was predicting about the markets going down. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I kind of looked into that deal because there's always going to be somebody's going to predict something right. It's the law of averages because everybody's predicting different things. Now, what I'm actually telling you is just common sense. If, for instance, we had this major conflict in the Middle East and, you know, the whole Middle East just went up in smoke and stuff, you would see oil prices skyrocket rapidly. You know, that's something you can't predict. But say that happened, then you would see gold go up rapidly, and then you would see silver go up rapidly. But my point was, if that happened, and silver went up rapidly and it went too far ahead of itself and broke through record highs in short order inside of 6-7 months, it can come down very fast. I would not be afraid to take the U.S. dollars in that situation, whereas the other people in the silver world would be telling you to hold on for dear life forever. See, that's where my advice differs. But I don't know what if situation is going to happen. I mentioned the 3 situations. Look, well, you know, there's only 3 possibilities. The markets were top heavy, and the top heavy, they're coming down. So speaking of top heavy, the next thing's going to be coming up. We're probably having to address this issue with Femin, the curse of the bikini bottom. You know, didn't go topless. Well, we need to fix that part. You know, the next part will be bottomless, right? Anyway, I'm going to be putting a lot more of these feminine videos up because actually, even though the girls are not actually putting on a sex show or all, they're not. But I just figured I'd interject this as a little bit of humor because, you know, they're so worried about tops. Well, what about the bottoms anyway? But that's just me talking, not them. But I want to say this. They're one of the few people that are actually fighting the New World Order. You know, this is King Silver in the background, and these are the feminine girls in the front. You know, one's got the sword and one's got the gun, and you know, the silver King Kong Silver's in the back fighting the New World Order, and that's what it's coming down to. A lot of people, you know, just would not be out there doing all this stuff like they are. So it's very important that they, you know, we see things for what they are and not worry about all the religious norms so much as to actually what the reality of the situation is. The reality of the situation is the markets are smoke and mirrors. And it's one reason I've never really liked Bitcoin. I never liked it at all, even though it went up exponentially. I mean, I could say there's stocks that went up exponentially too. There were stocks in hemp and marijuana that went up exponentially. They came down exponentially too. There's always some stock that goes way up. I would not get focused in on Bitcoin. I don't trust that stuff, to tell you the truth. I'm staying true and blue to the cause, which is real money, owned money, solid money, which is silver. That's just how I am, and that's going back to old school all the way. It's a matter of it's a cause, and it's a cause that's worth fighting for. But, you know, we got to look through other ways, too, because sometimes the painting the picture is too rosy. You know, it's like a kaleidoscope. You know, the girls wear the hair here with the blue and the red and the white and all that type of stuff, and orange. But the thing is, you know, a lot of times people paint a picture that is a little bit too rosy for silver, like when they're telling you about the debt and everything. But the problem is, and I always point out to a video, that fiat currencies can work. The problem that's going on in the United States is that the fiat currencies and the true stimulus is not going in the hands of the most productive middle class. It's not going in the hands of the electrician, the woodworker, the guy that knows how to frame stuff tonight, the guy that knows how to freaking do agriculture, fix cars, and all this kind of stuff. It's not going in their hands. It's going into the mega banks with the suits and the parasites on the top, and they sit on the cash, and they're always looking for freaking scams to flip to other people to, get a quick buck without actually producing something that's a hard good. It's the blue-collar worker that produces the hard goods. You know, it's not, well, Anyway, maybe you could sell hair dye, you know. But you know, the thing is, that's, you know, what I'm pointing to is reality, and I always have. And that's just the situation. But I'm not actually worried about the silver going down much, because I would have never sold it at 20 bucks or anyway. And to sell something physically is not smart. Even this palladium I had, if I had it electronically, I would have dumped it at 900. I definitely would have, because I was thinking, holy shit. But to tell you the truth, that's what I was thinking in my head. But for me to go down to one of those coin dealers and sell it and try to go back and then deal with a 1099 or something else and gets reported, I'm like, I don't even want to bother. I know it's going to go up way more, and I'm going to actually do a separate video on that deal, because spot market's pretty crazy, man. It's not reality. But in the long run, I just want to have another shout out for Femin. Now, this is not Femin, but basically this could be a representation of the Ukraine-based group Femin going against the New World Order, the last stalwart people that do it. You know, even though they bare their breast and they're out there showing their skin and their paint and their war paint and their flowers at the same time, multicolored war paint, flowers, and makeup, they're one of the few people out there getting the message across against the New World Order. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, they're funded by Soros, but you know, if they are so funded by Soros, I want to state this: that's one thing Soros is doing right. And there's one thing actually you ought to pay attention with Soros, because he's not playing their games when he's shorting the S&P market. Soros is actually shorting the S&P market to make money. He's not trying to just influence the market or make the market go down or do something evil. He's just trying to make money. That's all he's trying to do, and he's very good at it. The guy is somebody that came out of nowhere. He's actually in with the committee of 300, I think, too. I'm not sure if he is. He probably is. I think he is. But the thing is, he's a true insider. He may not be the very top insider. Warren Buffett's doing the same type of thing. He's not actually shorting a market, but he's staying out of the market, and it's actually costing him $29 million a day in dividends and interest. He's sitting on cash, and actually most of the cash he's sitting on is not U.S. cash, it's foreign cash. So anyway, the one thing that's going to be coming up though in the future is going to be, watch out for Big Bear. Big Bear is going to be the Putin deal. Now, I said this before, and a lot of times a lot of people get very, very, very mad at me. You know, I talked about this before, and actually I saw something that I think was, I don't want to say the name of the person, but I knew about it before. 35% of the wealth of Russia is actually owned by 110 of the oligarchs in Russia. There is not even one country on the planet that is anywhere near developed or semi-developed that has income and wealth more absurdly skewed into the elite's hands than in Russia. Yet you see on Russia Today a steady stream of propaganda about how the elite in the West are doing this. The elite in the West look like paupers compared to even somebody like Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has as much wealth as Bill Gates. But what did Vladimir Putin do for that wealth? What did he do for that wealth? Was he involved in a, revolutionary company that, made computing a household item throughout, everybody on the planet practically? No. He stole it from other people. So, especially like Yukos. How the hell did he get that, But anyway, I just want to point out, I'm going to keep sticking with some common sense on this deal. But silver can still throw you for a major loop, so watch out and look out there, because I think the bottoms of the markets, and I know it's per the religious predictions, it's per the lunar predictions and stuff and all this garbage. I think the actual bottom of the next financial crisis is going to be September 2015. That's not actually getting that far away now that we were into October 2014. This could be the beginning of the slide downward. But that does not mean this is the bottom. September 2015 will be the bottom of the metals markets. As a matter of fact, if you look back before, the metals markets crashed first, then the equities markets crashed second. Now, I thought the markets in the metals already crashed when it got down to 18 something. I figured that was it. But maybe obviously that's not it. But the thing is, the principles still say to remain the same. The equities will crash after the commodities. And it looks like the equities are starting to come down. But in other words, when the equities have crashed to the bottom, the absolute low for the metals would have already passed. So it's hard to say where they're going to go. I mean, like when you've seen things go down, everybody seems to think they're going down, they're going down, they're going to go down. They just keep predicting, they keep following that curve. And the same thing they do on the way up. You know, conversely, I'm not going to be afraid to take U.S. greenbacks when everybody's telling the greenbacks going to zero when silver goes way up. Because the only way the U.S. dollar is going to zero is if there's a major World War III confrontation and, you know, cities in America are blown up. But if that's the case, you're not going to be worried about, you know, oh, we're not going to even be talking on YouTube. How's that? I mean, if that's the situation. So you got to be worried about other things if you're going to be worried about that. But, you know, just want to keep things abreast to what's going on today in the real world, though, is that, you know, silver could very much take a major comeback and, you know, it can come back with a vengeance. It's been known to throw people for loops. That's why it's called the devil's metal. So, you know, it goes down, it goes up. Now, also, I want to mention that Jim Rogers talked about silver, and he said that, you know, he hopes for see a real washout bottom where everybody gets despaired and desperate and disheartened, so he'll buy it up. You know, he's your buddy, right? I'm telling you, that's what he said, man. But he's telling you the truth, man. He doesn't know it for this fact, but he's waiting for like a real killer slaughter. But there's not only a killer slaughter if you sell. You see, it's not a killer slaughter if you just hold on to it. I mean, yeah, it's psychologically it could be bad, but it's not a killer slaughter if you don't sell it. It's only what counts as a time of sale. Just as if you say, oh, I got all this money because it went way up and you never sold it, you're never going to realize those gains. So, and a lot of people tell me I'm missing the point because, you know, oh, what are you going to do, take fiat cash? Yes, I will take fiat cash. Does that mean I'm going to hold fiat cash forever? No. Just like I stated many times, that's not what a business does. Anyway, we'll get on other things, and we'll probably talk about Femin about the curse of the bikini bottom in the future because, you know, I think I need to, well, I don't know. I'm just kidding about that. These girls are pretty crazy, man. They kind of crack me up sometimes now that I'm thinking about it because a lot of times the same type of stuff that I am against, which is the New World Order, the banksters, Vladimir Putin, who is a bankster himself unto himself, you know, the Wall Street crowd, and the religious extremists, especially in Islam, and all the other garbage that's on the top that they're against. I seem to be totally in harmony with their views, believe it or not. And at first, I never really thought of them as a serious force or somebody to be, you know, that was actually thinking the way I am, but I guess they are. Yes, they are. But anyway, they're fighting a new world order too, so, you know, just keep it like that. And, you know, the deal is with silver, though, it's a little bit more than just an investment. It's almost like, you know, why do people stick with morals and principles? That's really what it comes down to, too. Why do people stick with morals and principles? And it's actually the people that stick with the morals and principles and stay with honest things should be the ones that come out in the forefront, but it may not be that way because of the vicious type of people that we're dealing with. But if we fight back hard enough, it may be the situation. So that's the way it goes. Show them no quarter.